Amnesty International South Africa is calling on Wits University's private security and police to practice restraint on protesting students to prevent injuries and a loss of life. The human rights organization reminds law enforcement authorities that unnecessary and excessive use of force is against South Africa's and international law. For more on this, we're now joined by Mienke Steytler, Amnesty International SA spokesperson. Very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. You've noted with concern the use of force that we saw throughout the course of the week against the protesting students at Wits.
Yes, exactly. It was really concerning to us, and I think everyone will agree. It brings back memories. You know, this is a recurring situation, a recurring event. And in the past, people have lost their lives. People have been quite severely injured as well. And we just felt that it was very important to remind all parties involved to exercise restraint and to remind all parties involved of what the rights are and what the regulations say. So with regards to the students, you do have one has a right to gather peacefully, one has a right to demonstrate peacefully, and also to the security forces and to the police. You know, there's the Police Services Act, and internationally there's also the International Convention on Civil and Political Rights, and all these laws actually do outline that the use of excessive force, is against the law, and that any force at all must only be used as a very last resort, and even then you must make sure that people are not injured or definitely not killed. So we were just really worried at what we were seeing at Wits.
And just really looking at the nature of these protests, I mean, they are going to continue. We've spoken to students who are saying that they really want their demands to be met in this regard. What do you think is important to take note of as the students continue their protests and also, are really looking to get some sort of way forward?
Yes, I actually heard your interview a little bit earlier, and new solutions. What are the new solutions? What are the new decisions that need to be made by the university? And this is not the only university that is facing, these sorts of frustrations from students. Also by the Department of Higher Education, and that there must be a coming together and resolution, peaceful resolution must be the aim. However, I did actually check before I came on, and it appears that the SRC at Wits and the administration at Wits had been meeting since 1 p.m. and have actually recently adjourned that meeting, and it appears that the SRC will be announcing some decisions that were made at that meeting tomorrow evening. So we'll be watching that closely, and hopefully we won't see a recurrence this coming week of the violent protests, but time will tell.
Yeah, time will definitely tell. What do you think are some of the important lessons that really stand out with a repetition of these protests? I mean, as I was speaking to the ANC's Deputy Secretary General, Nomvula Mokonyane, I mean, you listened into that. She was speaking about the repetition year on year, the same problem, but still, it all boils down to the same sort of outcome.
Yes, so I think the lessons that we have to learn is that, this is obviously multifaceted. So beginning with, big decisions that need to be made, not only at higher education, but at basic education level as well. And, that people are really prepared for university. And also, as has been rightly pointed out, there are a lot of other issues that impact someone's success, right? It's not only whether they are going to lectures or passing exams. There's a lot more that really impacts on someone like that, and that there are big decisions that need to be made in terms of our education in South Africa as a whole. Also, though, just considering again, and this comes up again and again, not only at universities but elsewhere, we only, one just thinks of the absolute tragedy that Marikana was, and this is training for security and for police, for the South African Police Service, that officers are properly trained in dealing with crowds and dealing with people who are upset and can be legitimately upset, right? Yeah. And then a third aspect is also that everyone in South Africa understands what their rights are and how their rights also come with responsibilities, and that, of course, we are all allowed to demonstrate, to protest, but we have to do that peacefully, and that's what's enshrined in our constitution and really must be protected as well. You know, we mustn't be stopped from protesting, but people must also understand that in order to get your point across in the best way, you should do so peacefully.
Yeah, absolutely, because it wasn't just the students that were impacted. There are reports that the security personnel, some of them were also assaulted by students themselves.
Exactly. So I want to be very clear that Amnesty International South Africa has not taken sides and will never take sides. For us, it's about the human being and, of course, and human rights. And, of course, all these people are human beings. So that's why we called for restraint from all sides. And that's why we're also, hoping that whatever is announced tomorrow is a peaceful resolution, and it's something that all parties have come together, listened to each other, and also understood that sometimes, everyone has to make some sacrifices to almost meet in the middle, right? So it's going to be, the next 24 hours will be very interesting, I think.
Yeah, very much so. Thank you so much for your time.